Hi, this is Christopher Rowe with my Part 1 project proposal presentation for data analysis using Python. Now, I will try to keep this pretty short. I think that it's pretty self-explanatory proposal, and a lot of the details in the slides speak for themselves, as well as a brief demonstration after the slideshow with a pre-existing database I have. But I call this project proposal media log data analysis, which is the kind of general proposal, and more specifically by personal rating, viewership, and box office. Those are fields that I've captured in a database. And this is the final project proposal by me, Christopher Rowe. So in addressing the why or what of the project, I would say this project will take info from a user's database logs of media consumed, specifically film, television shows, podcasts, and video games, and perform aggregation of that data in order to visualize it back to the user. Why? I think for users, this is interesting to see information visualized. For me, I think I can create a kind of hypothetical for this project. Let's say I was some kind of film producer, if I'm trying to create a specific hypothetical, and I want to see what kinds of movies are most favorably viewed by audiences. And since the data that I've captured has to do with budget and box office, numerical fields like that, I think that by kinds of movies, I'll mainly focus on those aspects. And I will use the data from this project to make decisions in producing a new movie for this hypothetical. And what if I can incorporate my database directly with my Python script or with the pandas and matplotlib libraries, I'll do that. But failing figuring out the database integration directly with Python, I'll export CSVs from the Microsoft SQL Server database, and as mentioned, use the pandas and matplotlib libraries that we've covered a lot in this class. Maybe some of the time and calendar libraries as well, but definitely pandas and matplotlibs. As far as a flowchart goes, this is a very simplified view of what the flow of the project would look like. On the starting end, on the left-hand side of the screen, we've got a Microsoft SQL Server database, as well as the Python 3 script with pandas and matplotlib libraries. The database will export CSVs, plural. It would be multiple CSVs for different tables, with some kind of predetermined file name and file path, which could be read into the pandas data frame and manipulated that way. And then we would visualize the data with some of the aggregation methods discussed in the class, as well as the data visualization in matplotlib. So examples of the Python operations performed on the database data, and in a moment I'll quickly run through some of the tables, so this will make more sense. But some specific things I could do is aggregate based on media type of the media captured in the database. I could visualize a film's box office relative to its production budget, so things like were films profitable in their domestic and international box office compared to the production budget. If they were, by what percentage did they multiply their production budget, things like that. Visualizing a TV show's viewership ratings, since that's a field I capture pretty often in terms of millions of viewers. Visualize the number of media items consumed per a given time period, for example, per month. So this is my personal log, but if we were considering that it were a random user or a set of users, it could be what kind of the number of films or TV shows, podcasts, or all of them did they consume in a particular period of time. We could also visualize a user's personal rating. I usually log some kind of rating out of 10 for something that I consume for a given media item and compare that against other data. So, for example, did I like something that had a low or high box office, was profitable? Is there no correlation? Or kind of play with things that way. So yeah, I give an example. What month did a user rate their media more favorably on average? So that's a time period kind of thing. Or what kinds of movies does a user prefer? Like, for example, give a rating of 8 or higher to with regards to the film's box office and production budget. And then the Matplotlib will return graphs that visualize the user's data back to the user. So those are the slides. I wanted to quickly show the database that I've built. This is part of initially started in a previous UCLA extension class, but I've built this out for a little over a year now, so I've captured a bunch of different data, and I just have 3 different views here to show 3 different tables that I'd especially use. Every time I log something, I have kind of a general table, which is shown on top, which will have all of the different media types captured in one table. It'll have series, title, date viewed, an ID, see a personal rating, notes, and tags. But then I have specific tables depending on the media type broken out for each film, podcast, book, etc., TV show. So the ones I'll probably focus on for this project will be the film and TV tables, the film information and the TV information table. So I have a film information table with more specific movie information, including like distributor, production company, the rating, director, screenwriter, producer, all the way over to box office information, which I think for the point of a data analysis class is good to have something that's numerically driven. So I plan to use that. And then the TV information, that's a similar kind of specific information except for TV shows. And the key value that I think I could use here is this the US viewers in millions, so the TV ratings. So that's just a brief overview of the project and the data source that I will use. Thanks for considering this proposal, and I look forward to finishing this